Hello and welcome to TechBrits' I/O 2023 predictions episode, where I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt to try and bring some of that Mountain View sun to the UK, and it's not working. I'm Ryan Dawes.
I'm George Lim.
So, if we kick off with the software, what are we expecting for Android 14?
Oh, who knows what we're expecting for Android 14? Every year, Google seems to put something out there, but with the Pixel feature drops, I don't think they're going to be coming out with like a big bang of feature sets. I think they're going to come out very incremental with the normal sort of speed improvements, battery improvements, general sort of housekeeping-y things.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to expect from sort of the big features.
Yeah, I mean, every year it's getting more and more incremental, but those Pixel drops, they just help to keep things more exciting.
Yeah.
Unlike sort of Apple, where they just kind of come out and hammer everything all at once, then, you know, just get a little bit of something to be excited about over the course of the next year.
And I think it's a really good move from Google. It's not something Apple will ever do. I think Apple really, they thrive on the big, you know, here's a bunch of features, and you go, ooh, when you play with it for a while, and Google kind of sprinkle them out throughout the year.
Although half of those don't actually launch for several years, as we're seeing with a lot of, several months, as we're seeing with a lot of the Apple Pay stuff. What I do think we'll probably see is more work on the foldable side of things. So obviously we're likely to see the Pixel Fold, which we'll talk about in a sec. But I feel like AI is going to have a huge presence this year.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if Google came out and just went, Bard, AI, Bard. Oh, also Bard.
I think we got one short for later.
I think it's going to be one of those things where the AI conversation is so big and Google are so enriched in the AI sort of world that it would surprise me if most of the conference isn't about Bard.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I think what Google really needs to do is show us some of their enhancements to things like Docs and Sheets.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they need to catch up with what Microsoft is doing with Office and integrating AI into everything, basically.
And I'd also love to see, and I would accept a small teaser of how Bard or how that technology will interact with things like Google Home and Google Assistant in the wider day, because I think they really strive on those products. Those are the mainstream product names for them, and I think Bard is still one of these names which is sort of, this is a thing you can play with, but here's what it's going to look like when it's done. I would love a teaser at least.
And I don't think anyone has ever said this, and I don't think I would ever say this, but Google needs to do something to improve Google Home. And if Bard can do that, then great, because I feel like Siri is better than Google these days.
That is a bold statement.
It's very, very bold, but I just find for most day-to-day queries, Siri can pick up things and give better answers to just, you know, the simple tasks.
And meanwhile, Amazon are running off with Echo, you know, Echo and Alexa, because, you know, every house I've been into that isn't a techie's house has an Alexa in it, right? And I always go, why did you pick Amazon? It's convenient. You know, I bought it on Amazon.
Yeah,
and I think,
especially on Prime Day or whatever.
Exactly.
Everyone ends up picking up. I don't think you even have to buy one. They just ship one to you at this point.
But I think it's one of those really understated things, which is like, they got it into people's homes. Google and Apple are really struggling to get their AIs in. Well, Apple less so, it's, you know, less on the phones, but with the actual home boxes, I think they struggle to get them into the houses.
So one big feature that we're expecting to see is a shopping try-on feature built into YouTube. So it's going to use a kind of AI/green screen technology, so you can actually try on new outfits, which is something that Amazon obviously do with their sort of online shopping thing. You can virtually try on. That will compete with something like TikTok Shop, I think. Less on the green screen side. I think that's very much just Google flexing. But on TikTok side, they have something like TikTok Shop, where you can buy things on TikTok. And I wouldn't be surprised if Google are seeing this as a way to get more products and things into people's hands, because YouTube is still the biggest video platform in the world. And you can buy things on TechBrits. No, I'm joking. That's next week.
That's next week when they announce it. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be a given, again, that Bard will be built into Gmail, so we can craft emails with a little bit of Bard wizardry or wizardry. Hopefully it's got some improvements over, you know, what it's been so far. But yeah, so I think that rounds up our software side of things. So let us know what you think, what you're expecting to see from Google at I/O on the software side this year.
And now we obviously naturally move on to the hardware side. So Google always bring up their hardware at I/O, and it's no exception. I think they brought up the 7 a year before the 7 came out, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw what the 8 might look like. Even if we know nothing else about it, they might just go, here's the 8. I think we'll definitely see the 7A, which is a device which I don't think many people are thinking about. I think the A series is a great market in terms of it's that mid-range market of people who don't want to buy the big flagship. So I think we'll see the 7A. It will be interesting to see what they've removed from the 7 to make the 7A. But I think the big heavy hitters will be the Fold, which we're reading a lot of rumors about. It seems to be a more stubby sort of foldable, rather than sort of Samsung's book style. But have you seen the price?
I have. And I'm also still not 100% sold on the design from what we've seen so far. It looks very Surface Duo-esque in that, to me, it looks like two older phones kind of just slammed together, rather than sort of a real sort of modern device.
Which is concerning from Google, because I think Google really nailed it with the Pixel 7 design. So having a Pixel Fold design that looks a bit crap.
Yeah, I think it took Google a while to get their sort of hardware design right.
Yes.
Because of it, but now they've got a very unique sort of looking device, especially with the Pixel 7.
Yeah. And I think the Fold is also rumored to have a slightly older camera, which is also another concern. So the rumors are pricing it at about $1,800, which I think is ridiculous, even by Samsung standards.
Like, I get that it is essentially two smartphones slapped together, so just off of quick maths, you're going to expect it to be about the price of two phones, but trying to sell that to consumers is going to be interesting.
Exactly. And aside from the Fold, which kind of is a phone that turns into a tablet, you've got the actual tablet, which they announced a year ago, but haven't really said much about since. I have a lot of friends who are really excited for this, but I'm worried about the price and I'm worried about the specs. It's a tablet that's catered towards sort of, I think it competes more with the iPad rather than the iPad Pro. So the iPad Pro, you'd still have artists and stuff buying things like that. But the iPad is a basic Android tablet. I think the Pixel tablet's an interesting thing because it comes with a dock. But we don't know much about any of it. So I hope we're seeing more of that tomorrow.
And Google has just generally really struggled with tablets over the years. Even when I was invested very heavily in the Android ecosystem, loved my Android smartphones.
You remember the Pixel Slate?
I do remember the Pixel Slate.
That was a disaster.
But nothing has ever touched the iPad.
Yeah.
And if we can get a device that comes even halfway close, then that would be a win, I would say.
I mean, they've got the Tensor chip this time, so hopefully, and that worked well in the 7, so let's hope that they have something in the bag.
Yep, fingers crossed. So I believe that we have created, or at least from our design expert here, a bingo card for I/O predictions this year, which we're going to be posting out on social media.
Yeah.
So we'll see what is actually announced.
Yeah, so go and follow us on all the social channels, Instagram, Twitter, all the other places, and you can see our predictions in bingo form. And then next time when we review the actual event itself, we'll see how many we got right.
Probably none, but we'll find out. So until next time, ciao.